Hello, welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. Yeah, on the Bitcoin chart, we are currently still in this channel that we put onto the chart together, I think a week ago or so. So we're simply ranging in what you could call a massive bull flag. Overall, the idea is still that we should see the market rally towards 130k. You know that if you follow the videos here on this channel or on our main channel, MCO Global, the idea remains that we are in a bullish market, and that will remain the case as long as we're holding above $81,350. Yeah, I try to make that very, very clear. Still in a bullish market, that has not changed. And remember, when we started this correction, a lot of people got concerned, and I try to remind people of at least the overall thesis that the pullback here that we are seeing right now is still all corrective. Yeah, we have no bottoming confirmation yet, but I try to remind people that we are that this correction that we are seeing right now, yeah, and a lot of people got really bearish. Okay, that this is part of a larger uptrend. So we're still in a larger uptrend. So don't necessarily assume yet we are in a bear market. That can happen below $81,350. I mean, that is the signal level I've been calling out for quite some time now. That's what I would see as the main pivot that helps us distinguish between bullish and bearish momentum. Yeah, 81,350. Now, again, the good news is the move to the downside from that potential A wave high here is clearly in 3 waves. And because it is in 3 waves, it is still part of a bullish scenario. So it's not impulsive. We're not going down impulsively. I just want to make clear that actually that is a good thing, at least for those who are still looking for higher prices, which is pretty much in line with the larger bullish thesis. And those are the patterns and the indicators I'm watching. I'm watching obviously in the background. We're watching them together actually in these microstructures to understand if probabilities are shifting. Because if I was checking the smaller time frame charts, which I'm doing, but then we suddenly, let's imagine we are seeing 5 wave movements to the downside there, which are very sharp. Then I would of course start to doubt maybe the bullish scenario a little more. But overall, we are still holding key support, and the pullback is clearly corrective in nature. What does that mean? It means it's a 3 wave move down and not a 5 wave move down. Okay, so that should be clear. Then the main support level should be clear as well, 81,350. And then there are a couple of additional things to mention. First of all, we've got our channel boundary lines, which we need to be observing for potential reactions. Price reacted, for example, Sunday it was, nicely to the lower boundary line. Then we have the target area for this move down, which is an ABC structure. You might also call it WXY. It's probably rather a WXY, but again, that doesn't make a difference so much. It's more about the levels here. And this is the ideal target area that we are tracking for this pullback, this initial pullback, okay, between 99,220 to 92,830. So the price reacted to this as well. So there was some confluence here, yeah, in this area. And for now, we're holding the support, and we're holding above the 100% extension. We're even holding above the lower boundary line of the trend channel. Does it mean we're already resuming the larger uptrend? It's of course possible, okay? But I told you very clearly what I need to see for that, which is a 5 wave move up from the Sunday low, which we haven't got yet, and the 3 wave corrective pullback afterwards. Personally, I find it's too early to confirm we're already moving up, but I can tell you it would be really, really good for many altcoins. What I did earlier today was to remind people on X that we are still in this situation, and that I posted like a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that we've seen some of the most promising altcoin setups in the last few weeks, right? That prices have reached their communicated support areas, and we're now seeing the first reactions. That's still valid. And I mean, I pointed out breadth, but also that it is, for many, the last chance to keep the 1-2 setups alive. So it's a key spot. That's what I want to highlight here. That yes, the price is pulling back and has reacted. Bitcoin as well has reacted. But then here, for example, on the bread chart, and this is the situation for many of these charts, many are still holding supports, okay? Some broke briefly, but are still holding above the invalidation line. So the setups are still valid. But if Bitcoin, goes down further, these will be invalidated. And okay, what impact will that have on the altcoins? Well, it's not bullish, I can tell you. It depends on the structure. It depends on the chart itself we're looking at. The easiest answer is it will invalidate the setup. That's it. That should be enough for many, because if the setup is invalidated, there's no setup. So next one, okay? So then you forget about it. But yeah, just want to communicate the setups are still there, but they are getting tested right now, okay? Stress tested. And Bitcoin's pullback is quite weak so far. So that means larger time frame trend is up. Short term, we do have a reaction, but we're not breaking out or anything. We're not in a breakout. I would need to see a break above the upper boundary line of the trend channel to really have a clear confirmation that we're already in the next move to the upside, which means at the moment, I cannot rule out another low, okay? Which I think a lot of people are still looking for lower to get, maybe find a better entry. But Bitcoin might just take the scenic route, okay? So what is that scenic route? What is Bitcoin doing here? So again, a simple answer would be, or let's say, one scenario could be the correction is over, of course, right? But then I need to see a 5-wave move up and a 3-wave move down. I tried to make that clear over the last few days, that whenever we see 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's our first confirmation a low is in, but I also need to see a corrective pullback afterwards. That would be a 1-2 setup, which could send us directly to our larger degree target. Okay, this is what we need to be watching for. But for now, as you can clearly see, the market has not formed 5 waves up yet. Looks like we only have 3 waves. And that gives us a micro support area between 102,889 and 103,650. That means this micro support area that we're currently watching here is still holding, and we can get another 4-5 pattern as long as we're holding that 50% fib level. That could be a larger B-wave rally, so it could still break down, which just means that we have to pay close attention to the pullback after the 5 waves. Only then we have a so-called 1-2 setup, and I would add a support area for this wave 2. At the moment, we don't really have a setup. We had one yesterday. There was a mini 1-2 setup. You might remember that if you watched yesterday's updates. We don't have one now. These are typically interesting ones because they provide a really good reward to risk ratio, kind of played out like that. Again, for those of you who are following, this was our 1-2 setup down here, yeah. So I don't know if I posted that on X actually yesterday. I might have. It might have only been in our members area. Yeah, we might not have had that on X. Otherwise, I would show it. But we discussed that in our members area. Discussed that in the YouTube video as well. So those are the best setups, right? Whether they are on a smaller time frame or a larger time frame doesn't matter so much. Whether they are good for you depends on your risk profile. But now we are sort of in the middle of the range, and I'm just giving you support that we need to hold to give us one more high in 5 waves. Yeah, then we can potentially turn bullish, but that's not enough. We need 5 waves up and 3 waves down. So don't forget that the larger time frame is giving us the overall roadmap. And then here on the smaller time frame, we use the labels to get our support and resistance areas and to get an understanding when the correction is over. For now, I don't have enough confirmation. Would be nice, of course, for many altcoins, but it's too early to confirm. So yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, don't forget to follow us on X. I'll put the link in the comment section and description. Thanks so much.